Hello, 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 and welcome back to TheBellaFix. If you are new here, hi, thank you so much for joining me. If you are not new here, what's up? My name is Bella. I am a Latina mom content creator. I am a mother of 5. I am a wife. I am a full-time student. I am an employee. I'm all the things, okay? And I wanted to come on here today to express and give you guys a little glimpse of raising 5 children in New York City. People are always asking me how I raise 5 kids in New York City. So today I want to share the good, the bad, the ugly, the chaotic, and the organized, okay? I feel like sometimes people get ahead of themselves and they overcomplicate things and they overthink things too much. Right here, that's me. But when it all comes down to it, you need to have very simple key steps that you can incorporate within your own life and your own family traditions, values, ground rules, whatever you want to call them, whatever works for you. You still need to have that. Motherhood and parenting looks very different for everyone. Why? Because every single child has different needs. I always say this to my kids and they don't understand it sometimes, and then sometimes it just hits. I am a different parent to every single one of my children. I have a child that absolutely loves to defy me. 1,000%. I mean, I say blue, this child will say teal. If I say red, this child will say orange. If this child is wearing black and I say it looks nice, that child is going to change and put something else on. So the way I've learned to deal and to parent that child is to give them space. Give them the freedom to think and make logical conclusions and understand what it is that their feelings are trying to evoke in them. And I'm there as a cushion. And if you're thinking it's a teenager, you are absolutely right. It is one of my teenagers. And the way that looks for me as a mom raising this child is more independent relationship. I have a more of a friendship parenting style with this child because I know that yelling, punishment, anything like that is not going to work. This child is extremely emotionally mature and they understand that they're not a little kid. They're not 12, you know? So it allows me to kind of speak the way I'm speaking with you guys to this kid. And this kid is able to then listen and make it make sense to them. Now, I have another child that is a velcro kid. 100% velcro kid. If you don't know what a velcro kid is, I'm gonna just say this. You walk and you have a tail, okay? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Velcro kids are beautiful. They are a blessing, because children are only children for a small period of time. So you want to enjoy all those hugs and those lovable things and, sleeping with the child and just doing everything with the kid when they want to include you. These are Velcro kids, but sometimes you need a break. And with Velcro kids, it can become a little bit overwhelming. Overwhelming in the sense that you cannot speak to this child in a more stern way. I cannot speak to my child the way I speak to my independent child. It won't work. They will think and see it as an aggressive behavior. My Velcro child will see it as mommy is upset with me. And that's not the case. Mommy's just human. You understand what I'm saying? So Velcro kids, my Velcro child, the way I parent that kid, raising that child in New York City looks a lot more like intentional parenting. That child, I am incorporating everything that I possibly can into that child's existence. That child will go grocery shopping with me. That child would be at home watching a movie with me. That child will be sitting right beside me while I'm doing a YouTube video. And that's the way they have that quality time and that bond, while I'm still able to do the things I do and still parent my other children while filling that child's cup. Now, I also have a rebellious child. I know you guys may think that my life is beautiful and perfect, even though I never portray it to be. And you know, I'm very raw and real on this app, okay? On this platform, on all of my platforms across the board. But I have an extremely rebellious child. This child is not my defiant child, because my defiant child is more curious. They like to have their own voice and their own opinion on things. And you know, you can see them and you can aspire them and have hopes and dreams of them becoming some type of leader. But my defiant child has nothing to do with anything. That child just dances to the beat of their own drum. They will not do anything they do not want to do unless they feel like they can do it, when they want to do it, and how they choose to do it. And it took me a while to kind of understand my defiant child, because in order for me to still be their parent and give them the utmost respect and such a safe space for them to be defiant, I had to understand and humble myself. My kid is still a kid. My kid is still a person. And this person, that is their personality. And sometimes it's very hard as parents for us to distinguish your child versus the person that they're going to become. And this kid, their personality is stuck, okay? This personality is, that's it. Like, I can already see myself, and I already have conversations with my husband, their dad. You know, I can see somebody else complaining, or their spouse complaining to us, calling us later on like, hey, you know, so-and-so doesn't listen. And I'm like, well, welcome to our club. Do you want me to send you a bottle of wine? A charcuterie board? You know, let's make it festive, you know? This is what we're doing, because we have to love and accept the people. And in this case, I'm speaking about children, my children, and my experiences as a mother of 5 in New York City. But we have to accept them for who they are and how they are, and let them know that it's okay to be themselves. Now, I have a wild child. Now, this child bounces off of walls. This child will jump on their sibling's bed and wrestle, play fight, draw, color, do everything in their power to not go to sleep. This child will wake up at the crack of dawn and be ready for adventures. You know, like Elsa and the other one. Do you want to build a snowman? That's my child. I have the rebellious kid, and I love it. But my child is so full of life that the way I have to parent this child is I have to muster energy sometimes. Like, there's no way I am gonna be bedridden all day with this child. There's no way. I can never sit down with this kid. This kid is running here, running over there, and doing all of these things. So, and they do not have a mental diagnosis. They do not have ADHD. They do not have any of those things. And it would have been okay if they did. My kid is just very hyper. They're a very wild kid. And it just always makes me get creative. And when a child is wild and young, wild, and free, you know, please do not take anything that I'm saying in a derogatory way. But when you have a young, wild, and free child, especially in New York City, you need to find creative ways to get them to release their energy. You need to understand that you are not going to be the chill mom at the park. You're going to be running around, you know, so you have to find pockets of times to dedicate to this child to keep them busy. You may have them help you cook. Cooking is great. You may have them fill up bubbles in their bubble bath and let them play all day. You know, let them do what they want to do in the safest way and in a more realistic way, especially if you are a parent of multiple children. Okay, where am I? I spoke to you about my defiant child. I spoke to you about my rebellious child. I spoke to you about my wild child. We are going to speak about my angel baby. I have an angel baby. I have one child that is absolutely an angel to be around. This child will help me in everything they can at all times, even when they don't want to, even when their siblings don't want to. They will do it. They'll be like, Mom, do you need help? Mom, what are you doing? Mom, can I go with you? Mom, oh my God. Like, my child is so mature and has a lot of common sense for their age, if I'm being frank. This kid does not play games. This kid is so calm. And they have their hobbies and they love their hobbies. But if you leave this child by themselves for an entire weekend, you can find everything exactly the way it was. This child is not running around rampant. This child is not letting the dishes pile up. This child is not making a mess. This child is just doing what they gotta do and chilling. And if you have a child like this, I see you. Because this child, raising this child, and do not confuse my angel baby with a glass child. Glass children are very different. Glass children are often seen as invisible children. Children that get kind of like, you know, the middle child syndrome, the one that gets overlooked. That is not my angel baby. I do not have any glass children, okay? All of my children are catered to, individualized, and parented accordingly to their personality. But my angel baby, it's a reprieve. I'm always saying that this baby, this kid, is gonna be the kid that I probably go on vacations with more often than the others, or we'll pull up to a spa day with them, or show up at their function because they want me there. And I say that because, you know, we all have done it. We have all done it. The moment we get older, we kind of stray away for a little bit from their parents. But this kid feels like that's not gonna happen. It's my angel baby. And the way I parent this child is I let them be, you know, they are their own person. And I've learned to understand that this kid is very calm. This kid is not going to do too much. This kid is going to do exactly what they need to do so that they can have their own peace. And this child loves their peace. So I love that for them. And I love that for me, you know. In a chaotic world of New York City, that is New York City, and us having 5 children, having an angel kid is kind of like a blessing in disguise because I don't have to worry too much in the sense of like danger. And I also know that their needs, they can communicate effectively their needs without me, you know, having to deal with the teenage hormones or the back and forth or the rebelliousness or no. This angel baby of mine, they're going to tell me exactly what they want, when they want it, how they want it, and why they don't want it any other way, all while getting good grades. Now, for my last and final child, I have my ASD child. For those of you who do not know what ASD is autism spectrum disorder. I have a child on the spectrum. And I'm gonna correct that. My ASD child is not their definition. I just wanted to give that disclaimer based on how I'm going to describe my child. But my ASD child is my wanderlust kid. My wanderlust kid is the child that dances, listens to music, loves arts and crafts, loves vivid colors, loves to enjoy themselves, look at themselves in the mirror, show other people their beauty, and, you know, really defend also. My wanderlust kid is a protector of their siblings, which is insane for me to even fathom sometimes because my wanderlust child is nonverbal. So all of these things I'm describing to you, they do it all without speaking. And I find it even more beautiful because communication does not just happen with words. It happens in all different ways, in all different shapes, sizes, colors, formations, anything. I'm just saying words right now, but you know what I'm trying to say. My wanderlust kid is probably the glue. And I know a lot of people always say that and it's such a cliche, but it is the absolute truth. My wanderlust child is the glue that holds all the other children together. Because when my rebellious kid is being rebellious and my angel baby is over here on the couch doing nothing, chilling, and my wild child is jumping around back and forth, my wanderlust kid will turn on the TV and start dancing in the middle of the living room. And all the other siblings will look at them and like, and just sim with them, just vibe and just dance. You know, it makes us forget the seriousness of the things that are around us. My wanderlust kid is the glue of our family. And I am bringing up all of these personalities because realistically, it is so hard to parent. It has its challenges. Whether you have 1 child, 5 or 20, you will always face challenges. This morning, I had challenges with 3 of my children and it had nothing to do with them. They just all have their own wants and needs, and they all have different teachers, and they all have different classes, and, you know, they all have something different. So when you have more children, you just have to learn to brace yourself for the impact and schedule your day, schedule your routine, but always leave room for chaos. Always leave room for chaos. Whether it happens today or happens tomorrow, it's always going to happen. So you always want to leave room for chaos, because when chaos happens, it happens in big waves, and sometimes it can overwhelm and overstimulate everything that you're doing. You know, you have no idea that this was happening today. You planned a massage day for yourself, and now all of a sudden you have to have 3 meetings and 2 phone call conversations. you know? But that's the part of being a parent and having a lifestyle with multiple children. You have to wear different hats because you are parenting different children, and you parent them differently because you love them and you see them. So the way I parent and how I raise my kids in New York City, 5 of them with all different types of personalities, I put myself in their shoes and I respect them and I see them and I give them the voice and I give them the space and the freedom to be who they are while trying to guide them in the right direction. Anyways, I hope this helped. I encourage all of you to sit back and really think on how you can honor your children without taking away and without letting them bleed into something else in the way that you did not possibly receive. And if you received it, you have the blueprint already, okay? You have the blueprint. Do not allow your children to mesh into the others' personalities because they are all different people. They're all independent. They are all who they are, and you don't want to take that away. At least that's my 2 cents. That is what I do with my children. I brace myself for chaos, and those are my non-negotiables. I brace for impact every day. I set myself and my to-do list to a minimum of 2 things a day. Especially if I'm working. If I'm working, like already I'm working. You know what I'm saying? But I limit myself to 2 things a day because I have to understand that I'm not my own person anymore. I am a mother of 5. And I have to make sure that I am available for all of my children every day, whenever they call, if they call, or whoever calls on their behalf. So my non-negotiables, stick to 2 things if you possibly can. Leave a little room for chaos every single day and just breathe. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. And this concludes my vlog for today. Thank you so much for watching how I raise 5 children in New York City. And most importantly, if you resonate with this video, if you have similar parenting techniques, or if you like something that you are definitely gonna try in your home, don't forget to meet me in the comments and let me know. Again, my name is Bella. I go by TheBellaFix. All of my socials are exactly the same. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys next week.